Good morning, everyone. Let me know once you are able to see my screen. Good morning. Can you hear me? So I hope everyone get connected to this sales server, SQL server to build the project of sales development. Everyone able to connect it? SQL server or another alternative I have shown to you, which is a CSV format. So everyone able to connect the data source. Good. Suppose if you fail to connect to the SQL server, no worries. So due to configurations or maybe some restrictions on your mission side, you will face that problem. Okay. In such scenarios, I have said CSV format files. Please try to extract the CSV files into your Power BI desktop application. So I have shared a CSV folder as well, right? Sales inverter, something like this, the name. This is the one. These are the files, okay? So I have shared the limited files, not all the files. We don't require all the CSV files. I've shared the limited files. So you can make use of those files. Please download it and try to connect to the CSV files. Okay. That's what the expectation. If you are not able to connect SQL Server in such scenarios only. Okay. I'm able to connect to it, SQL Server. Let me showcase. I'm going to extract the data from SQL Server. Okay. And then okay, as a part of development, right? We are going to build this report, sales statistic, without any creation of any measures calculated column. I'm going to build this report development, okay? And before developing this report, right, we have to work on report styling. Okay, we will learn some basic styling and also the visualization level, what type of visuals we are going to choose. And very important thing is relationship build. Okay, we have some relationship, the connectivity between one table to the another. We are going to discuss a quick review of that as well. Okay, we already discussed four type of a cardinalities as a part of new development, right? New report development. We'll try to understand a clear picture on relationships as well. Okay. Let's try to extract it. Okay. See here, I'm connecting to the SQL Server. Suppose example in our real time, if your data source is an SQL Server, how to get connected? So I just selected a quick data extraction that is from here, SQL Server. You don't need to open the get data always. Okay. From here itself, we can get selected the required. Okay. Very important quick connections, SQL Server. Let me open for server details. I'm opening my backend database, SSMS. This is my server name. Just try to copy paste, okay? Server name. I have copied and pasted. Database is optional and data connectivity mode is by default, it is an import method. If you are connecting to any databases, either it is an on-premises or cloud databases, you can see data connectivity mode, two types: import method, direct query method. By default, import method. That means you are copying the tables from the backend database to your Power BI desktop application. That is nothing but an import method. You are importing the tables into your Power BI desktop application. Okay. There is one more method named called direct query. You are not going to import, okay, the required tables into your application Power BI. You will directly communicate the data tables. Okay, the tables will be get directly communicated to your backend database. That part also we will discuss. But by default, the data connectivity mode is import. We are trying to import the tables into your Power BI desktop application. Okay, and database is optional. Suppose here, if you're observing, I have connected to the SSMS, right? As of now, two different databases are there. AdventureWorks is another database, and we are going to connect sales data importers. Like that, if you have any specifically, I need to connect sales data importers, I can copy this one. Okay, see here, I don't want to see any AdventureWorks. I can copy it. Sales data importers. Just try to copy paste. That's it. So I want to directly connect it to this database. That is the meaning. Okay, instead of showcasing all the database in the application, Power BI desktop application, I can observe only this particular database level tables. See here, I provided the database name as well. Select OK. You can see sales data importers, those tables only. You no need to again select the database here. Okay, and observe the table information. We can directly see the table information here. So this is your server name and along with the database. And these are all the tables which has been listed in your backend sales data importers. Okay. Suppose example, if I'm not connecting to the database, how it will be appear? See this? I'm not providing any database name. Okay. It's an optional. Select OK. In the prompt, right, you can see two different databases here. So from here, we need to get selected this. Select the sales data importers. 51 tables are available. We have to get it imported. Okay. Suppose, example, if your project is related to two different databases that I need to connect two different databases, in such scenario, it will be helpful. So one database, sales data importers, I'm going to import some tables. Another database, AdventureWorks, I'm going to import few more tables as a part of report development. Okay. In such scenarios, you no need to specify. If you are trying to connect two different databases, you no need to specify the database name, which is an optional. Okay. Please remember, important. So from here, sales data importers. I mean, last session, right? We have connected some tables, correct? That is sales customer, sales order. I'm just trying to import these tables. Okay. Sales order line. And another table is warehouse stock item, warehouse related. Okay, as per the sales, what are the stocks that has been available? That information I'm just trying to pull into my Power BI desktop application. So see here, four tables I have selected. Sales customer table, that means we are going to hold the customer information, customer details, and orders, how many orders are there? Okay, and those description, sales order and the sales order line, and the stock details. Okay, as a part of the sales, I mean, the supplier IDs or else maybe the stock information has been available here. Now you can tell me, I have selected four tables. Are we going to load these four tables directly into the Power BI desktop application, or are we going to perform some activity on the transform data? That means clearing the data, selections or else something. Which one we are going to select it? You're seeing two options, right? load and transform data. And load is highlighted. Transform data is still not highlighted. It is showcasing something disabling only. So which one we are going to select? Are we going to load directly into the Power BI desktop application? Don't select it. We have to cross verify the essential transformations. Okay, essential transformations are data type check. What is the data type for each and every other table? That is the first one. And second one is how many columns? Sometimes, right, each and every table we have more than 50 columns or else 100 columns. We don't require all the columns to load into your Power BI desktop. We need only the required columns. So we have to select the required, okay, visualization columns. And third one is data filtration. Suppose if you want to filter the data, I can try to do that activity in the query editor. Okay. So that part also we will going to do it in Power Query Editor. Okay. Don't load it. The basic, very important transformation. Data type cross verification we have to check because it's a database. By default, whatever the data types has been allocated while creating the table, it will be get loaded automatically. Okay, sometimes the date format which they have defined in the backend, the same will be projected on your Power BI desktop too. If you are not using the transform data, okay, try to use the transform data here. Okay, select it. Instead of directly loading, try to select transform data. So these four tables are available on your left hand side. Try to cross verify sales customer, the first table. See here, data is there. Source navigation. Where is the default step? So there is a default one step is there. Data type validation, right? Data type validation. So by default, because it's a database, it has been created and it is not detected any data type verification. So we have to do that. Select all the columns, Control E, select all the columns. I have selected 31 columns are there. See here, 31 columns, 663 customers. Because it's a customer table, 663 customers are there. Unique customer. See here, select all the columns, Control E, go to the transform tab. Here we have a transformation. You no need to select individually. Try to change the data type from one to another. Select all the columns. Use the detect data type, Control A. That's it. Change data type detection. So you can see in the formula bar. You can see in the formula bar, these are all the columns and their data types. Okay. Next activity. Some columns are not required. The example I will tell you. See here, validation from validate to and last edited by when it is edited. So these some columns are not required. I just want to delete it. I want to remove it. Select it by using control button, 3 columns at a time. Select it. Right click on the top of it. So which transformation we can use it? Which transformation? Now this time you have to be perfect. You have to know the difference between remove columns and remove other columns too. Which transformation we are going to perform? Please make sure that you are going to use remove columns. Okay, selected columns only. Okay. So like that, I have removed some columns. So in real time, right, what I will do, instead of searching the columns here, first I will analyze the data. Okay, I will check what are the required fields that they have mentioned in the business document. Okay, they will provide the required fields from the business documentation. Okay, requirement gathering level. So once after analyzing the data in that particular sales customer table, I will navigate it here. See here, home tab, choose column option, choose column. So here, instead of using horizontal scrolling and to and fro, left or right, I'll just try to check it. So the required columns, I can try to select it from here. And remaining columns, I will unselect it. See example, I don't want this delivery address 2 times. Okay. I want maybe 1 time. Website, I don't want to use any website level visualization. I'll just try to remove it. Run position, run delivery, runtime. Fax number, phone number is not required as of now for this report development. So I'm just trying to unselect it here itself. Okay, I don't want to load these columns into my Power BI desktop application. So that's why I'm just trying to remove it. So when you are going to do this activity, once you got a clear picture on the data set, that is sales customer, you can go to the home tab. Here we have an option named called choose columns. Okay. So you no need to horizontally move left or right side. You can directly select the required columns here and load it into the Power BI desktop. Understood? That's what here I'm doing. These columns I'm just trying to ignore it, okay, which is not required. Credit limit, standard discount percentage also not required. Select it. So when I'm extracting this data set, it is showcasing 31 columns. I have removed some columns which is not required. Now it is 13 columns. So I have removed some columns, right? So is that going to improve the report refresh runtime or else impact the report refresh runtime? You have to tell. If you remove these unwanted columns, is that report performance going to improve or else not going to improve? Improve or else it will not impact anything on the data set level. Definitely it will improve. Okay, instead of, because the backend, right? Whenever you are doing the data refreshes, that columns, I mean, like a number of columns also it is going to impact. If you remove the unwanted columns and the data level, right, it has to refresh runtime will be get increased. Okay. Refresh runtime will be get increased automatically. You no need to select, okay, unwanted columns onto the Power BI desktop level. And also don't remove the unwanted columns in the Power BI desktop, like directly selecting the column and remove the column. Don't do that activity. Maybe in future, if I need some columns, means I will come back to the query editor. So from here, maybe in future, I want to visualize phone number. I can just select it. That's it. My phone number will be get available. See this here. Okay. Important. Please remember. 1 second. Fine. So in that way, let me remove it. I have removed some columns, okay, which is not required for my visualization part. Fine. Next table, sales order. See this? No, that's what I'm saying, right? If you delete the columns on the Power BI desktop, we cannot retrieve it. You have to again extract the data set. But you delete the columns. You have removed the columns in the query editor. In future, if that column is required, you can get back. You can add it. That's it. It's a simple addition to your data set. That's why we are performing the ETL activities in Power Query Editor. So Power Query Editor will be helpful to perform this ETL, extract, transform. Currently, we are doing this transformations and load it into the Power BI desktop. Got it? Select all the columns. The second table, sales order. Detect data type, basic transformation I'm performing. Now you can tell me, pick by person ID is there. I don't want to reflect or else visualize. Null data set in this sales order. Can I filter nulls? like this. Simple. Can I filter this and visualize the value so that I can get the 100% right? That is the main agenda. Is that the right approach? Is this the right approach? You have to tell. So I have filtered, picked by person ID. There is some null data. I filtered it to project it as 100%. Is this the right way to do this? Filtration, data level. No, okay. Don't do that activity. So it is completely wrong. So here it is a null. Okay, what about this? What about this customer ID? Here the customer ID is filtering, right? You are removing this customer ID and you are removing the order ID too. Is this the right? If you filter, now you can decide. Understood? Like that, we have to deep down the data level. Clear? Everyone? Others, whoever said yes, we can filter, is we don't filter it actually. Okay. If you filter this null from this column, remaining valid data is removing. Okay, remaining valid data from other fields has been get removed or filtered. So which is not the right approach. Okay, don't filter it. You have to check other fields too, other fields or else other columns too, whether the other fields are getting impacted. If you try to filter, you have to cross check. No problem if you are trying to maintain the null data too. Okay, because that is from the backend level. Backend team will take care about it. Okay. So manually, if you are trying to remove this, the values, right? The total number of customers will be get reduced. You will not get the right customers and also will not get the right total number of orders, which is going to impact your metrics. Okay, numbers. Got it? Don't do that. So in such a scenario, what we will do? Either one approach is we have to get a confirmation from the customer. So we have maybe there is some SPOC, single point of contact from the customer side. We have to cross check. Can I replace this null information with some valid data like a zero, or else we can ignore it? So these type of questions we have to ask. Understood? So what I will do in the sense in such scenario, okay, picked by person ID. So instead of representing it as a null information, because it's a number, 1, 2, 3 number, whole number, I will try to replace with a zero. Okay, instead of a null data. Right click, which transformation we are going to use, you have to tell. Because we already completed one complete project, which transformation we are going to perform. I have just right clicked. I just want to, null information is there. Wherever there is a null, I just want to use it as a zero. Which transformation it is? Replace, okay? Right click, replace value, null with zero. With this one, fine. And automatically it get converted to the 1.2. What is the data type? 1.2. Which data type it is? So in real time or else in the interview prospect, please try to remember 5 to 6 different data types. Okay. Which data type it is? Decimals. Okay. Instead of a decimal, try to change it to the 1, 2, 3, which is a whole number. No problem. Okay. Like that. So its validity is 100%. I'm not removing this null data now. So it is zero there. Okay. Fine. Contact ID, contact person ID is required. Order date, when the item has been ordered. I require that particular field too. So some fields, right? So is under supply back order is not required. Right click remove. And purchase order number fine. And comments. I don't want to utilize any comments on my visual delivery instruction or else internal comments. You can remove it. Simple columns, okay? 100% empty, you can remove it. And the last, these two, which is not required when it is edited and when. Okay, edited by which one? Okay, remove it. And one more thing. So see here, picking completed when. So by default, it is coming is in the form of date and time. Okay, this is the date and time data type. If we are not using, please remember this is very, very important as a part of performance improver. You can add this point, removing the columns, okay, detecting the data type. And also in this particular data set sales order, picking completed when this field, which is a date and time data type. In the visualization level, if you're not working on the time related statistic or else time related visual representation, you can change the data type from date and time to the date data type, which is going to improve the performance of your report. So how it is going to improve it? So see here, so back and right, as I said, the query engine has to read your date along with the time with seconds, okay, seconds, minutes and seconds. So which is going to impact, that is going to read by record, row by row. So backend engine, okay, how it will be read in the sense, the record by record in a table. It has to read by record by record. So in each and every record by record, row by row, it has to consider date as well as time. So which is going to milliseconds wise, it will impact our report performance, right? So if you are not visualizing time related analysis on the report level, you can remove it. You can change the data type from date and time to the date data type. Okay, so see here, very simple. From date time to the date data type. If you are not working on the time related visual, okay, it is not bothering you on the report level, you can remove it here. You can change it from the date time to the date. Understood? Important. It is also one of the improvement, I mean, report level improvements. Performance optimizations part. You can add this point to. Okay. I just changed the date time data type to the date. So it has to read only the date now. It is no need to read any time related functionality. Okay. Backend part. Next table. Up to this part is clear to you, or else any questions on this table? Sales order. Response, please. I am re-explaining. Maybe if you missed in the first project, this project will give a complete picture. Okay, because it's an intermediate to the advanced part. So this project development is an intermediate to the advanced part, which is added repetitions to some topics. Is this clear, or else any questions on this data set, which we are doing, sales order? Clear to you? Others, please try to respond. Next table, okay. Sales order line. Sales order line. So what it is, can someone please help me what this, I'm able to see some kind of a rectangle box. What is this? What is the technical name for this? This area. Response please quickly. What is this? Is this a DAX engine? In query editor, are we going to work on the DAX? Think and tell, okay. Is this a DAX or M language, M functions? Responses, please. This is a, first of all, this is a formula bar, okay? This rectangle is a formula bar. So which formula it is? Sales order table. Sales data import is your schema, okay? Sales schema. Order line is the table information. This is the formulas, M language formula, okay? M functions. This is the formula bar. FX functions. Tick mark is for the commit, validated, and cross mark is for decline or else cancel. We already discussed it. Please remember. Fine. Select all the columns on this table. Now it is clear to you, Sanju? Clear? Which language it is? M language, okay? M functions are there. Select all the columns. detect data type. Detect data type. That is the first transformation, change the type. First transformation, I have added on this data type because backend, it is already there. Why you are again re-adding? Because sometimes they will create date in different formats. While creating the date table, the backend team, they will do that. Maybe they will try to create the date as a text data type. Instead of a number, they will create it as a decimal. So that's why we are revalidating the data types once you input this databases into your, database table into your Power BI desktop application. Okay, that's why I'm performing the change data type detection on each and every table as a first transformation. Next one, so see here, description is required. A simple table only, 12 columns by default. I'm not removing anything. Right? Just checking, cross-validating. If there is any unwanted columns are there, I'll just try to remove. Okay. So these two columns are unwanted. Just try to remove it. Right click, remove the columns, and pick to completed one. Anyway, I'm not going to work on the time related analysis. Change the data type from date and time to the date data type. So you see here, this one, date. This is the date data type, that is fine. Okay, 10 columns total. Sales order line, 10 total columns. Last table. Select it, all the columns, detect data type, cross verify. No worries if there is a null information because these data sets are coming from the backend SQL Server. So whatever the data is available, which has been available or loaded, we can see that information here. That means it is not required always to replace null wherever there is a null, 0, until we will get a confirmation from the customer or stakeholders. Always, whenever if you are observing some nulls, don't replace it instantly. Right click and it's very easy. But sometimes, right, the customer, they don't want to see the zeros, whatever the value are projecting. They want to see the blank as well. So why it is still blank? So why the data backend data is coming blank for this particular ID? They will check it, cross verify. So until we will get a confirmation from the customer's side, while validating the visualization, don't try to replace it. Whatever the data it is available, make sure that the same will be get reflected on the visualizations too. Suppose if the customer is asking you to replace, I don't want to see the nulls, that means blank, try to replace with some value. In such scenario, you can replace it. Okay. Like this one also. This is the text. So I'm seeing the blanks. So these are the blanks. Other than the null, there is north wind only. That means I cannot remove it. Or else I cannot replace with null with some text value. Okay. Are we going to replace with some other text? You don't know, right? Brand is there. This is not a region. You cannot replace this null with some value or else some text. Yes. Correct or else something wrong. See here. In this brand, we have north wind only. Can we replace this null with some other category until we will get a confirmation? Make sure that this is a brand is Northwind only. Okay, you don't need to remove this blank manually like this or replace this with some category. Make sure that same thing happen, no problem. And the visualization also, when you are drawing the slicer chart, you can see the null information, blank information, no worries. Make sure that same, nothing. Okay. Size, fine. Let me check. Some null data is there. I don't want to use chiller stock. Remove it. Barcode scanner. We are not analyzing any barcode scanners here. Remove it. And these comments we no need to report on the visualization. So I'm just trying to remove these fields. Selecting only manually, I'm selecting using the control button. Okay. This one also remove. Got it? So these are the four tables: sales customer, sales order line, and warehouse stock item. Okay. So some transformations we have completed on these four tables. Now you can tell me what this is. Applied step stands for. I have some questions. What's the meaning of this applied step? Responses. So responses, please. Only one answer. Only one person know about it. Applied steps whisper. So data transformation steps. Data transformation step. Okay. So each and every table you can see on the right hand side, applied steps is nothing but data transformation steps. So whatever the activity you have performed, the steps will be recorded on your applied steps level. So I want to see the complete M functions in one go. How can we see that? Instead of selecting each and every step and seeing the formula here, M functions, I want to see on this table sales order line all the functions in one go, one shot. How can we see? Which level, which object, which tab we are going to select it? How can we see the all the functions and formulas of sales order line? You can tell me. Responses, please. If you're aware of it, yes, you know. If you're not aware, you can tell me. I can show you. So instead of selecting each and every transformation here like this manually, I want to see the formulas at one single go, one shot. One table only, not all the tables, one table. These transformations, all the transformations, backend formulas, I want to see instead of selecting each and every other like this. How can we see? Any suggestions to me? How can we see? How? You are not aware? You forget? Yes, sir. No, you can respond, please. Can you hear me first? Okay, fine. That's what I'm expecting, right? If you forget, you can tell me. Click on the home tab here. Click on the home tab. Here we have an advanced editor. Okay. I hope my language is clear to you, right? See this. These are the backend, each and every step, which function it has been derived. So these are the functions, same functions. All the transformations you can see it. One go here. Advanced editor. Okay. Clear to you? This is one of the important interview question or a certification level. All the transformations you can see in one go by using this. Which tab? I mean, which object or else which, what is the name? Advanced query editor. Okay, you can select this option. Okay, I hope this part also has showcased to you in the previously. Yes. And if you want to see the hierarchy, the table hierarchy, which table is loaded, which table is not loaded, what is the, I showcase you something like a dependency, where it is, there is a view. What is the name, technical name for that? We discussed it. Fine, I don't want to waste. So see here, click on the views tab. Here we have an query dependency view. So see this, I'm just trying to fit the screen. Fit. These are the four tables. Let me change the layout to left to right. So from this database, laptop, this is my server name, and Express Edition is my connector. These are the four tables I have been loaded. I mean, still not loaded into the Power BI desktop. So that's why not loaded. These four tables are related to this hierarchy, this particular database. Once you can load it into the Power BI desktop, you can see these sales customer sales order will be get loaded. Okay, let's try to load it. Close and apply. So you have added some transformations. So here, close and apply part, which option we are going to use it? What is the option? In the close and apply part, which option we are going to utilize? Is that a only close or apply? Apply the transformations that you done or close and apply. Basically, the name is apply and close it. That is the name, but they have mentioned reverse. Close and apply. Basically, it has to apply the transformations, whatever we completed, and close it. Name is reverse. So here we have to make use of close and apply so that whatever the activity we have performed on each and every data set, it will be get loaded into the Power BI desktop. See here. And now there is no Power Query Editor tab. Okay, we will not see any query editor window. Okay, it's now loaded. See this? 4 tables loaded. Automatically, once it is getting loaded, the auto detection is also helping. That is, automatically, relationship build is also working backend part. Okay. So if you want to view the data here, the table view. So we can see the table views. So these are the 4 tables which have been loaded. And if you want to cross check which table has been automatically get detected, you can go to the model view. So here, model view, automatically each and every table. So see here, we have a less work now. Each and every table has been get connected. And our responsibility here, we have to cross verify whether it has been identified the right column or not. We have to cross check. That's what. Automatically it get detected the relationship, connectivity between one to another. We have to cross verify customer ID. Okay, fine. And here the order ID table, order ID column between the sales order and the sales order line. And the last table, sales order line to the stock item. Okay, warehouse stock item, stock item. Okay. Everyone clear? Good. See here, back end it was something like a null. Now it is a blank. And the brand, if you're observing, brand. Just try to drag and drop here. Change it to the slicer chart. You showcase the blank only, no issues. You don't need to replace with some other category. Blank, fine. And this is the north wind. That's good. Okay. I just want to showcase you one example. Save it. And whenever, if you once you can try to load it, please try to save this report development. Okay. Fine. Any questions up to this part? Please let me know. Any questions? Query editor we just completed. Do you have any questions up to this part? Query editor on the sales statistic analysis just completed. If you have any questions or else if you are missing somewhere, please tell me. I'm ready to recap or else I will do something. Now I loaded all the 4 tables. Okay, 4 tables I have imported. 4 tables has been loaded now. Now if you want to cross check like a query dependency view, all 4 tables will be get loaded now. The change, you can see the change. Previously it was not loaded. Where I'm selecting this is my database. These tables has been loaded. Previously it was not loaded because by default we navigated to the transform data before loading. Okay, that's why it is showcasing as a not loaded. Now we have loaded. Whenever we are navigating to the query editor, query dependency view, this will showcase which table has been loaded, what is the hierarchy, and where it is coming. Okay, from which database or else with path. Find them. Saving this. Let's try to build a very simple report development. Okay, simple report without creating the calculated columns and measures. Okay, without creating calculated columns and measures. This one I'm expecting. See here, let's try to focus on the important metrics. In metrics, these are the metrics numbers. Total number of orders. So total number of orders is by default, it's a count orders. Quantity by default, it's a sum. Okay, aggregation methodology is aggregation is going to sum up. Like that, picked quantity too. And count of customer ID, we have a total number of customers. Customer ID column is there. Whenever if you are trying to drag and drop, it showcase by default, the aggregation is count only. Let's try to build this quick matrix, a card visuals, okay? So what we will do, first we can consider the card chart, yeah, card, giving some space. And one more thing, in real time also, in real time as well, customer, they will come up with some sort of an image, okay, what they're expecting. They will provide you an image, something like this. They will not give the exact numbers. They will expect some kind of a layout design. So by taking the reference of those layouts only, we are going to use in the report building. Okay, they're expecting something like at the above top corner level, some kind of a like a text image. Okay, here. Anyway, we know how to get this kind of a rounded corner edges. So we know how to get it. They will come up with some sort of image or else a portfolio templates. Okay, we have to use those templates only. We have to ask for templates, background templates. If they have, they can share it. If they are not having this any template, we can design on our own. Understood? If they are not providing any background template, we can design on our own. Okay. So in this current example, sales statistical analysis, we are going to build our own template. Okay. See here, total number of orders. So from the sales order tables, if you are observing sales order, we have an order ID. So now you can tell me if they would answer. Order ID is a metric and we don't have any sigma symbol to perform all the aggregation functions. Now you can tell me order ID is which type of fact? Order ID is a which type of a fact? We discussed about something about additive fact, semi-additive, non-additive. Order ID is which type of a fact? And factless fact table also. Is a yes or wrong? You can tell me, okay? Non-additive, good. Okay. Additive fact, where we are going to perform the complete aggregations. We can perform sum, average, min, max, count, everything. Semi-additive, semi-additive fact, we can perform the partial. Okay. Semi-additive, we can perform the partial aggregative functions like max 1 or 2. So, but that is a number. Okay, we can perform. Non-additive is the fact which we are not going to perform any of the aggregations like sum, average. So is this a non-additive? Order ID, I'm going to perform the count here. Someone said non-additive. So is this a non-additive? Can I perform I'm going to perform the count, right? Count I'm going to perform, correct? ID columns, always consider ID columns, customer ID here. We don't have any aggregation symbol, sigma symbol here. Order ID or a person picked ID, contact ID. Okay, see here. These are all ID columns. We can perform some count information, count level statistics, we can perform it. So this type of a columns, we are going to consider it as an factless fact table. So it's a number, but we cannot use the complete aggregation. ID columns, please remember, ID columns, we are always going to consider it as an factless fact table. Okay. So here, order ID is there. I'll just try to add the order ID column. Add it. Sales order table, order ID. So this is the number, count of order IDs. Okay. Try to do some cosmetic changes like reduce the font and change the font type as well. Select it. Use the format painter. More options. Call out. Change the font type to most of the time, as I said, Arial format 25. And I'm interested with the full units. I don't want to showcase thousands. Try to change to the none. Okay, 73,595 is the value. Okay. And also try to provide some border to it. Size and style. Visual border. And provide some rounded corners. Shadow effect, not with the black color, light color. Something like this. Okay, first card. So on this first card, I want to report with the comma separator, thousand separator. Can someone please help me? How can we get the thousand separator here? 73,595. I want to see the thousand separators, comma separator. How can we get it? Select your order ID column here. Order ID. Select your order. It's not a format now. Order ID. It's one of the column, right? Column tools are visible to you. Column tools. So select, use the comma separator. That's it. Here. Simple. Okay. You can get it. Maybe after converting to an explicit measure. As of now, is this an implicit number or else explicit? Is this order ID is an implicit or explicit? Implicit measure, we discussed about it. Implicit measures and explicit measure. As of now, order ID is not a dedicated number. It's not a number. Just now we discussed then factless, factable, fact information, fact related. So I'm not able to get the comma separator. Once I will get convert to an explicit measure, count function, I can get that number. Correct? I will showcase you right away. So see here, new measure, giving the name as total orders is equal to count function. It's a simple count, okay? It's count of order ID, close the bracket, validate it. And now we can try to drag and drop this. Provide the comma separator. Now we can bring it. Got it? 73,595 total number of orders in this way. Okay. I have done most of the cosmetic changes on this card. I no need to select one more card visual. Okay. I can use a duplicate. Copy this, Control C, Control V. Because I have performed some cosmetic, the format level changes to the first card, I no need to redo again. So that's why I'm just using a copy paste technique. Control C, Control V. Okay. Another card, total quantity information. So the quantity information is available. See here, quantity column, sales order line, quantity is there. So now you can tell me quantity. So if you can try to drag and drop the quantity here, just get in this 1 second. Quantity. So what is the difference between sum of quantity and explicit? Okay, explicit. If I can create aggregation function, sum quantity, explicit measure with some quantity. What is the difference? It's also giving the same number only, right? See here, quantity is there. I got this number, some value, I got it. Okay, 93 lakhs, 10,904. Suppose if I can create with the help of new measure, what is the difference? One difference I'm expecting. I'm not expecting 4 to 5 difference, one difference. So if you are using sum of quantity, it has to read by record by record. That means 2,31,000 records are there in this table. To get the final value, that is the total value, it has to read the backend data quantity. If you are using an implicit measure, sum of quantity, to get this number, it has to read row by row. So 2 lakhs means 2 lakhs, 5 lakhs means 5 lakhs record. It has to read so that you can see this number. Instead of reading row by row, always, every time, whenever the new data is available, we can create an explicit measure. That's what we discussed. With the help of new measure, click on the new measure, give the name total quantity. Quantity is equal to, you can tell me which function we are going to use it. Total quantity. Good. Performance, these are all going to impact if you are using implicit. Sum only, okay, sum of quantity, sum of. See here, the column name, we have to specify the column name. We know the difference between the sum and the sum x iterative function. So we have to specify column name here, individual column name. Suppose if it is a sum x, it's a table function. That's what we discussed. So is the table function is required or else direct sum function is fine for us? Now you can tell me and decide. Are we going to calculate some more fields on the existing field or else a simple sum only fine? Sum function is fine. Simple sum function is fine. So why I'm asking this question is sometimes right, people will use sum x. You don't need to specify the table, okay? Sales order line, comma. It's an individual column. Okay, you are performing on the individual column, that is the quantity column. Why sum x here? Sum x is not required, it will works, but sum x is not required. Iterative function is not required here in such scenario. If you are working on an individual columns, one particular column exclusively on one particular column, you no need to call table functions. Okay, that's the difference. Please remember. It's in one column only. You are multiplying, no. You are adding, no. You're just calling the column as an expression. Why it is required some x here? Remove it. And this part also you can remove it. This is one individual column. Okay. Validate it. So comma is still there. So inverted. Validate it. What happened? Sum quantity. Validate it. Okay. Just try to call that column. So, I mean, measure, explicit measure total quantity. Call it. And use a comma separator. That's it. Few more minutes and then I will stop. Okay. Once let me complete the cards. These 4 cards. Another one. So see here. Another one. I have a question. See this sales order line. Quantity is there. Unit price, tax rate, some picked quantity is there. I am interested to calculate the total sales. Okay, total sales. And I got a formula from the requirement. Total sales is the, to get the total sales value, it's a combination of quantity and the unit price. Quantity into unit price. Now you can tell me, how can we calculate total price? Now this time we were done. Total price or else total sales. Okay. To calculate the total sales or total price, in the requirement document, I have a formula, quantity into unit price is our total price. So how to calculate total price? Simple question. Think and tell me. No need to think also. It's very simple. Just now we discussed how to calculate total price. Responses, please, very quick. Good. The function is sumx. Sumx will be helpful in this scenario. So create a new measure, total price or total sales, simple, so that you can easily understand. Total sales is equal to sumx iterator function, call the table sales order line, okay, comma. The expression is quantity, okay, into unit price. Close the bracket, validate it, and try to drag and drop this explicit measure. Total sales. This is the total sales value. So see here, very big number. So instead of projecting this complete number, I will try to provide some units. Okay, I will try to showcase up to the millions part. Select this, select it, use the format painter here. Call out part, we can change it from the complete value to this decimal points. I will try to showcase with the millions, 177.63 million. Okay, like this. Understood? Is that clear? Response, please. So the height and width is 90 to 200 for this card. Try to provide the same thing. So is this both cards are having the same equal length and height and width? Is this both cards are having same height and width? Height, width. Height is fine. What about width? I just expanded, right? I just increased the width here. Change the width to 200. Here you can change it. Okay, so that we can see all three cards. As of now, three cards having the equal height and width. One more card. This is related to the total customers. Okay, total number of customers. So total number of customers. Let's try to create a new measure. Customer ID column is there. Customer ID column is there to find out this total number of customers. So to get this total customers, is that which aggregation function we are going to use? What is the aggregation function? Total customers. Response, please, quickly. Count only, right? You don't need to use sum. Are we going to sum up the customers? You can tell me. Are we going to sum up the customers? See here. See here. Sales order. Customer ID is there. So can we perform the sum of customers? Can we do it? I will showcase to you right away. See here. New measure already created, right? So see this. Sum of customer ID. So from sales customer table also we have a customer ID. Validate it. Try to take this. Total customers. So are we going to showcase total customers in million? No. Okay. So this is not the right number. So we will not showcase with the millions. We have overall, as per the sales customer table, see here. As per the sales customer table, overall, we have 663 customers only. There is no million number of customers. Okay. Like this. These many customers we don't have. Okay. 3,63,993 customers we don't have. We have to showcase 663 customers from the sales customer table. 663 customers are there. Okay. So in such scenario, total number of customers, please don't use the count, sum function, use the count. Okay. Count of. Validate it. This is the customers. Okay. You have to check the data also parallelly. I'm checking the data if you are observing. I'm checking the data, 663 rows are there. So I'm reporting the 663. In real time, how the end user is going to validate the values means these values, how they are going to validate it. So very quick, they can try to validate with your data itself. Okay, and also backend, they have their own, databases, right? They can check whether the number is right or wrong. They can check it. So how the developer is going to validate means by observing the data view, we are going to validate it. The data, we are going to observe this information. From this, we are going to validate the value is right or wrong. Understood? So I'm stopping up to these 4 cards. Remaining things, right? We will create from the tomorrow session. We will create it in tomorrow's session. Remaining visuals, we will create in tomorrow's session. Up to this part, do you have any queries, concerns, please raise your hand. I will get to know. So whoever not able to connect SQL Server, please try to import those 4 tables only as of now. 4 tables: sales customer, sales order line, order and warehouse stock items. You have to get this same number. It's not a partial data. I'm sharing the full data there. Even the CSV files, I'm sharing the full information. You have to get the same number. These numbers are same, even if you are trying to import CSV files. I'm stopping up to this part. If you have any queries, please let me know. So in the interview part, you have to convey that you know how to connect SQL Server to. Don't say that I have connected to the CSV files, Excel files, only file source system. I have shown you, right, how to get connected to the SQL Server. The similar way in the real time also, once you get somewhere, okay, some job opportunity, you know how to get to connect SQL Server. Just select it and they have to provide the server details. Okay, you don't need to worry about it. They have to provide the server, the IT team, infra team, they have to provide server details. So you have to pass the server details. Still, if you are getting some errors or some configurations, we have to raise a request with the IT team and then we can see the prompt. Okay, that is our responsibility. And thinking about the logics is our responsibility. How to get these values, okay, how to get the optimization of the performance. These things, we have to work on that. Okay, we are not related to the IT or else infra related. We have to think about the logics, how to bring these values. We have to project, okay, this type of a visual representation mind we have to think. Okay, that's what the expectation. Fine then, I'm stopping. And if you have any queries, please raise it. And tomorrow we will get connect and we will complete the phase 1 activity. This one, phase 1. Is that flow is clear to you or else any queries? Is that flow is everyone? Is that fine with the flow? I'm giving the repetitions too. Please think. Giving the repetitions, the topics which we completed, the important topics, I'm giving the quick repetitions. Okay. Remember. Fine. Thanks for connecting. We'll complete the tomorrow's the exercise, the part. Okay. And I forget to share this waterfall data set. Just now I have updated. Please check it. Okay. I have shared the data set again. In the same folder, you can see the data set too. I forget that one. And even I forget, right? You can take the data set from here. See this. This is the data view, right? 1 second. 1 second. Only a few minutes only. See here. Even if I forget the data set to share it with you, you can take it from here. See this? Where? Where? I have shared only PBX file, right? How can I get the data set? See this. Please observe. In data view, that is the table view. Previously it was a data view, now it is a table view. Here, select the data set, you can see it, right? Right click on the top of it, copy the table, copy it and paste it in some Excel. Whatever you feel comfortable, paste it in Excel. Open the Excel file. Control C, Control V. This is the data set. Save it and you can save it and you can prepare the report. There is no stop. Okay. Clear? Complete data set only. Clear? Maybe if I forget, you can do this activity in this way. But as of now, I have updated the data set too. Okay. So there is one more. Maybe I am interested with this particular column. Right click, copy this column. Only that particular column will be get copied. Okay. These are all techniques which for my quick references I will get to know. I'm just sharing my knowledge here. Okay. Do that. Fine then. Thanks for joining. Have a nice day. We'll connect tomorrow. Bye.